This is a very exciting time. This is a time that was foretold through the centuries. And even the Mayans knew about it, the Mayan calendar. I don't remember the
Of course.
2012 thing. And
Oh,
well,
yeah.
that they weren't talking about the end of the world. They were talking about the end of an age. And in the future, this time, especially pre 2012, will be called the barbaric era. Yeah, because we're fighting each other and we haven't learned how to cooperate. So, what's happening right now is all the dark behavior, all the bad behavior it's always been there. It's been hidden for centuries, for thousands of years. It's been hidden. And now it's coming to the surface. It's being exposed. And the more, I'm going to call them the dark hats, are being exposed, very wealthy, powerful people who have a vision for humanity's future, the more they're being exposed and the more they're losing their grip on controlling humanity, the more desperate they're getting. And so you have an entire mass media trying to manipulate human beings and take them one way, and human beings are saying, no, no, we want to go this other way. So there's a big fight between light and darkness. And in the past, dark always won. Well, we're in a new energy now. And we're being backed, to use an analogy, we're the referees on our payroll. He's on our side.
We've got some reinforcements.
And,
we have reinforcements, is what you're saying.
And so love is winning. But it's a painful process. There's a reason they call it the terrible twos for those of you who have kids. They're just learning not to fight each other in the sandbox, just learning not to be selfish. And that's kind of where we are. And so a lot of dark stuff is going to come out. And there's probably going to be more division and more hatred before things get better. But a lot of good things are happening too. People are waking up. People are starting to realize there's more to life than just my 9-to-5 job, and surviving in the rat race.
And that's what the pandemic used to help us to do.
The pandemic did a lot of things. So there are wild cards coming up. So the pandemic was a wild card that gave Mother Earth a breather, because we're kind of stressing out the planet right now. Not from global warming, not from climate change. That's, people aren't going to like to hear this, but climate change is not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
We're not causing the climate to change.
Mm-hmm.
We're not that much different from the primitive tribes that, there's an eclipse and they think they pissed off the gods. The climate's changing. It must be our fault. We're affecting it. But if a big truck is rolling down a hill, yeah, you can get behind it and push it and make it go down faster, or you can get in front of it and try and slow it down a little, but it's going to go down to the bottom of that hill, whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
The big issues are GMOs and dirty soil and contaminated water and contaminated air.
Deforestation.
But Mother Earth, and this is from the other side of the veil, Mother Earth is much stronger than our scientists believe. And she can recover from any damage that we can do to her, barring a nuclear war. That's not going to happen now. There's not going to be a global nuclear war. So that was averted. So there's big changes happening, and COVID forced people to face their fear of death. It forced people to examine their value and their place in society outside of their job. We tend to value ourselves by our jobs. It forced people who were in bad relationships to either fix the relationship or to break up, so they could move forward. It had a lot of benefits, and it was done for, subconsciously, humanity allowed this to happen for our own benefit. And of course, a lot of people had near-death experiences. When I was at the IANS conference, the International Association of Near-Death Experience Studies, back in end of August, beginning of September, in Salt Lake City, I met a few people who had NDEs from COVID. So yeah, everything like that has a purpose. I've heard many times the phrase from heaven, it's a perfect plan and it's working itself out in its perfection. Well, when you survey the world today, it sure doesn't seem like that. But changes are happening, even though from our perspective, they're happening fast. In the big picture, they're happening very, very slowly. So you have to look long-term to see humanity's maturation process. Look back 1,000 years.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, it was pretty common, murder and rape and, having your village overrun by whatever armies coming through. That was pretty common. It was not a tame or calm world. And even here in the United States, if you look at a paper from 1900, 120 years ago, you'll see an article that, well, we hung this young black man because he was fraternizing with a white woman. And they talk about it like, a coyote was killing the farmer's chickens, so we had to put him down. Well, that's barbaric. I mean, to hang somebody, that's crazy. That was only 120 years ago. And even when I was a child, there was still segregation in the Deep South. And we're in a gentler, calmer world, where people don't quite act out of fear like they used to. Now, some people are really buying into the message of fear. The news media is a big fear report. And some people are really buying into a message of fear and everything they're selling. And that's causing a lot of problems, of course, because you get a lot of people who are angry about things that are not the issue, and they want to keep us separated and distracted and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's going to work itself out. And within about 150 years, it's going to be a new planet. The new world of love is coming.
And we're doing what we can here in the time that we